Welcome to another exciting episode of the AI People, where we share stories about thinkers and builders who are humanizing AI. Today on our show, we have Tom from Autonoma. Tom, why don't you kick us off with an introduction?
Okay, yeah, I'm Tom from Autonoma. I'm the CTO. I started my career doing an AI laboratory on my university, which was actually one of the first in the country. After that, we had the opportunity on that laboratory to create to participate on a public tender for the biggest international airport of Argentina for a CCTV deep learning system, and we won that public tender competing against international companies. So that started my AI career. After that, I went on to Google to become an AI engineer, working with international companies, Fortune 500, from retail to social media, social networks, banking, finance, with all kinds of companies. And now I'm working at Autonoma. And at Autonoma, what we're doing is we're trying to eliminate what we call technical debt. And if you don't know the term, technical debt is just like financial debt. It is complexities of the code that accumulates over time, and basically you have, after a long time, you have to pay compound interest on that. So we're trying to eliminate that using AI and a combination of tools to make basically developers' lives easier, and push the technology forward, trying to make developers spend more time on features and not that much time on maintenance of code.
Got it. Just to reiterate, Autonoma is in the automation category and it's helping companies reduce technical debt. So I would like to double click on that. And can you explain why Autonoma and not any other platforms out there?
Yeah, so we are developers. Like the team of Autonoma, it's 4 developers, 3 AI engineers, and an infrastructure engineer, right? So we are all developers, and basically what we are tackling the things that we hated the most from our job: writing documentation, understanding foreign code bases, and having to fix and maintain old code. Not only because we didn't like it, but because it created production problems, or problems that are very hard to solve for developers and are very bad for the business as well. Having like not being able to predict or estimate how long features are going to take, not being able to predict problems that may happen on the code, slow pace of creating features. Those are all bad things that happen, and they they happen because problems have the sourced on the technical part. That's the main problem.
Got it. So are you seeing traction in the market? You must have spoken to some customers. How are they receiving your platform?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are 4 engineers, so we are not that good at selling, right? But we just released a new feature. We have like 2 main parts of the product: the code understanding layer and the code enhancement layer. For the code enhancement layer, we are seeing much more traction because companies don't want to spend time trying to see that every developer does the job as the company intended, right? Following the guidelines. So we're seeing a lot of traction on that part. We are talking with a lot of companies, companies from not only South America, which is where we are from, but also a lot of companies here in the US. We're talking with Citibank, Intel, which is a telecommunication company, and BCI, which is a Chilean bank. So we're seeing the tractions. We're running a couple of pilots with different companies as well. We're doing mostly B2B, but we're starting with this latest feature that I told you, with a little bit of B2C as well.
Got it. Sounds good. And Tom, I know this tool is gonna make the life of developers easy, no matter what projects that they are working on. But specifically with respect to AI, machine learning, given that there is a lot of focus, a lot of budget dedicated towards such projects, how can your tool help companies accelerate time to market with respect to AI, machine learning? I asked that because a lot of these technology executives are really under pressure to
Yeah.
churn out innovation when it comes to AI, and more recently generative AI. So what do you have to tell to some of these executives, CIOs, CTOs
Yeah.
of these organizations?
Yeah, so I have a really good point there. So when I worked at Google, I also did interviews, right? And I was an AI engineer, so I did interviews for AI engineers. And what I saw a lot of, like a lot of the candidates there learned AI by themselves, right? They didn't have an AI career. So the problem is that they were really good at AI, but they didn't know how, for example, how to deploy a model, how to put it in production. And that's like, it was a deal breaker for Google. So they didn't end up hiring them. But there are a lot of companies that instead of having one person that can do AI and software engineer, they hire two people, right? Having like a data scientist that does the models, and then having a software engineer that deploys them, right?
Mm-hmm.
This, I think that our tool could help the transition between the data scientist to the software engineer, because the problem that usually happens is that the data scientists don't usually have as good practices as the software engineer, because they didn't learn it at school, right? They learned it by themselves, or by like through the internet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the transition, if they like the quality of the model they created could be analyzed and improved, so that the software engineer received a better quality code off the bat, I think that it could be much easier, faster for them to release products or models faster. I think that could be a benefit for them.
Got it. It sounds like there's a lot of need for standardization when it comes to AI workflows.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be working on their own product platform, so your tool certainly brings in the rigor and discipline in the whole
Exactly.
process, and that's what I think enterprise leaders will really appreciate, because they don't want to slam the brakes on innovation. At the same time, they want to ensure that their investments are going towards bringing AI with practical applications for their companies and for their customers. So
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. And I think that it really, we're really seeing a pattern on the companies that are having these huge problems, because when you start a startup, usually the code is very bad. You really want to, this is a good practice for startups, right? Releasing features very fast. But like at some point that can't, like it stops being a good practice, because you start having a lot of people, and that starts hindering the actual capabilities of doing new features, right? So we are seeing like on Series B startups, that's the point where technical debt starts being a huge problem that they have to fix, because they otherwise they'll have a much harder time developing features. So yeah, that's what we're seeing lately.
Got it. Yeah. So death is like a monster chasing you, right?
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
escaping, and if you don't pace yourself, you might get consumed
Yeah.
by debt, and that's going to slow down your organization, especially as an organization is scaling up with generative AI or AI initiatives. It makes sense to have a platform that allows them to stay grounded in the kind of initiatives that actually matter for their business and for their clients. So Tom, you're a technology enthusiast, so why don't you tell me about that one thing that excites you about AI?
Yeah. So I think that like what excited me at the beginning was that it was very complex, and it had a lot of complexity, but also the things that could be done with the AI were really big, right? I started AI at like what I call the computer vision summer, right? Like when the computer vision AI started rising, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And now I think that the paradigm has really changed, and with LLMs, like I love the flexibility it gives you, everything that you can do, and the weird things that people are trying to build, and the possibilities that it opened up. I think that it's changing the world.
Correct. So yeah, the opportunity to make an impact is becoming clearer with technologies like AI that is even more intuitive. So on that note, like, you guys are empowering developers to be more productive. So what advice would you give to people who are getting started with AI or currently working on AI initiatives, they might have unique set of challenges. So how should they approach? And I'm pretty sure you guys are also building out AI features on your platform.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to get started?
Yeah, so right now, the thing that I would say is that I would really encourage people to get started, because currently the barrier of entry for AI really lowered with the LLMs. So I think that like the only thing you need to know is English to do prompt engineering. There are a lot of resources that teach you how to do that. So I think that you should go for it and try doing it and see if you can do a pet project, see if you can do something that is interesting to you. And that's the way to get started, as I was mentioning. So I started on the AI laboratory in my university. Basically, it was a group of enthusiasts that wanted to learn more about it. There weren't really much resources on the university or on the internet at that time. So we tried it like reading papers and teaching between each other, and trying to do projects to learn ourselves, right? And I think that's the best way. And maybe increasing complexity as the project goes on. I think that's the like learn by doing. That's like the short answer I would give.
That's great to hear. Learn by doing.
Yeah.
That's the way to go about it. Tom, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your insights.
Okay, you too.
Wish you good luck.